Greetings. I hope you're having a beautiful and blessed day. If you aren't, just remember, I love you. God loves you. You are loved. Today, we're going to be talking about letting things go and just letting go in general and the importance of it. And honestly, for the past 3-4 months coming into this new year, that's what I've been doing. Just learning to truly let things go and not allow them to affect me past a certain point. Sometimes it's okay to dwell on a situation, but not for long, if that makes sense. And this is why it's important for us to let things go, is because they can actually really negatively impact our lives and keep us in a very stagnant place, keep us stuck. And when we allow certain energies to come into our lives and keep us, stunted, then we can't progress, we can't move forward. And it's important for us to release energies and just let go of anything. But letting go comes in so many different forms. You could be letting go of a breakup or a person. You could be letting go of any relationship with any individual. You could be letting go of just bad energy that you've held on to for so long, letting go of situations and stress, anxiety. You could be letting go of simple things like what you're gonna overthinking. There's so much that you can let go of. It never stops, but it's very liberating to let go of certain things, honestly. And that's what I've been doing for this past year, is just learning to truly let things go where it doesn't affect me, or if it comes back around, I'm at a very neutral place with it, so I don't allow it to affect me in the same way that it would in the past. So when certain situations surface or come back around, I can handle it completely differently than I would in the past. And so that's where I'm at right now, and this is why we're even talking about this, because you know me, my whole thing is learn, live, grow, and then share. That's how I like to process things and get it out there, because the least I can do is help someone else out on their, journey or their path, and release energies that they're stuck with. So, just for an example, I always use myself. I held on to so much negative energy in the past because I suffered with a lot of things and I didn't know how to deal with them. There was so many contradicting things in my life that happened. I lived a beautiful childhood, but towards the end of it, it became very dark. And then my entire teens was spent in this deep depression because I was pretty much dealing with everything that happened at the tail end of my childhood. And it was like I was in this never-ending just pain, sequence of pain, and it just never would stop. It's like bad things kept happening. But here's the thing, coming back, or reliving the experiences and looking back on my life, I had actually realized that although there was so much pain and suffering going on during my teens and a little bit of my childhood, there was a lot of blessings in the mix. There was a lot of positive things going on, and I couldn't really understand them or even enjoy those things because of the mindset that I was in. I was holding on to things that I didn't know how to deal with. And this is where God came in for me. He literally made it clear as day that you're trying to deal with stuff that you don't need to deal with. You give it to me and you allow me to deal with it. I will help you heal. I will guide you through it. And I just kept, for some reason, trying to fight the battle by myself, knowing that God was there to pick me up and to help me get through it. And so I was holding on to trauma from literally when I was 8 to 13. So I've already shared this in the past, so I'm not going to touch on it too much in this podcast, but I got attacked by dogs when I was younger. They ripped me apart. I had over 40 different bites. They ripped my ear off. And basically, after that whole situation, I felt like I was just unrecognizable to myself. I didn't recognize myself. I was just really traumatized from that situation. It left me very much scarred. And so that carried on into, my teens, and then I developed all types of phobias and anxieties. I was terrified of dogs for the longest. I literally scream and run away if I seen a dog. It doesn't matter if it was small or big, because I was just so traumatized by it. I got social anxiety for multiple reasons, but just I had developed depression, just all types of stuff. Not only that, but further back in my childhood, I was sexually assaulted, molested, and that very much had a big impact on me. And I didn't really express that for the longest time. I actually didn't start sharing that until later on in my teens, and it actually just kind of came out Like, it came out later, but I had to get it out because I was holding on to it because I didn't know how to feel about it. And honestly, being a black male and just even expressing something like that is very hard. I'm gonna just be honest. Like, it's something that a lot of people don't expect to hear, and so people don't really know how to take it or even deal with it. And so I just kept it to myself because, you know, society's standards or whatever you want to call it, like, I felt like people would look at me as less than a man or whatever the case may be. Now I've learned that that doesn't do anything. Like, it literally doesn't matter. And this is my story to tell, so I'm more confident in speaking about my truths and what has happened to my past, but also accepting them and releasing them and not allowing those energies that came from those situations to affect me and keep me in a place where I can't move forward in life, because that's what happened for so long. It's kind of sad to say, but like, I lost pretty much my teens. I lived it in such a deep depression that I wasn't able to really get anything done, or, you know, I can't say I didn't accomplish much, but it was more I was not present in my mindset. So everything that was happening for me, it felt like it was happening around me. So like, I went to college and high school, and I did Running Start, and I graduated with my AA and my a teaching degree and my diploma all at the same time. But I couldn't enjoy that. It was more of I'm just doing this for everyone else around me. So it was like situations like that I couldn't enjoy. I couldn't enjoy family trips, my family, my peers, my friends. Like, I've said this before, but I was so depressed back then that, like, it was just hard to do the bare minimum. Like, it was hard to exist. It was hard to get up and do stuff, hard to take care of myself, hard to speak. I stayed to myself, and I got very antisocial. Of course, I have friends here and there, but it was a lot of dark humor going on, and the reason why we connected with each other, it was because of that. It's because we kind of laughed at our pain, and we kind of fed off each other's energies, and sometimes it would be very negative, and I didn't realize that until later. But obviously, changes happen, and they're very necessary. But in the mix of all that, I didn't realize the blessings and the good things and just the beautiful things that were happening in my life during that time. Now, looking back, I can see them clear as day, but back then I couldn't see it. So in the past year or two, you know, we've been going through this quarantine thing. Well, pretty much end of 2019 to 2020. All of 2020 was basically quarantine for a lot of people, myself included. That was my healing time. I got to really connect with God. I got to connect with myself, release things that I was holding on to. I did so much healing in that year. Like, it's ridiculous. I defeated, like, it just, like, I was out here demon slaying at one point. Like, that's how it felt. And just releasing energy and breaking chains and bondage. And I can't even take credit for it. It was all God. He did that. He gave me the strength to even do stuff and pray and just all of that. But it all comes down to releasing and letting go of things that do nothing for you. And by that, I mean, they do something. They keep you in place. They keep you in bondage. They keep you trapped. When all of along, like, it's like we have a key to our chains and we don't use it. That's how it feels sometimes. And I'm not like pointing fingers or nothing like that. I'm talking about myself. It was like I had this key, but I was scared to use it, or I didn't know how to use it. And so I was like, I'm holding this key in my hand, got chains on my hands and feet, and I can do nothing. Now, these chains represent just anything negative, bad situations, traumas, anxiety, depression, overthinking, relationships with bad people, toxic relationships, just all these negative things. Anything that you can think of that's negative, imagine it as a form of a chain. And you could have multiple chains on you. That's how it felt for me. But I had a key for every single one of these chains, but I was not using it because, one, I didn't know how to use it. Two, I was not in a place to use it. And three, I really was in this like damsel in distress place where I felt like I needed to be saved. So it was like I was waiting for something to happen or someone to come along and save me, when in reality, God had already given me the tools to push through, fight, to release myself from this bondage, and I couldn't do it. But let's talk more about letting things go, because it's so beneficial. There's so many things you can let go of. Honestly, on my list, letting go of social media is so helpful, even if it's just for a moment in time, just to get a break away from I call it the false reality, because everything online is literally fake. I don't want to tap too much into that, but if you know, like, social media is a nexus of just fake news. But letting go of social media letting go of negative people, letting go of unrealistic expectations. That's very important for me, because when you expect too much out of people or even yourself and you don't meet that, they don't meet those standards, or you don't meet those standards, you will beat yourself down for it. Like, so there's just so many things to let go of. Letting go of stress of things that you cannot change. That was huge for me. There was stuff that was keeping me chained up from my childhood because I couldn't change it or do anything about those situations. But vengeance was never mine to begin with. So of course I can't do anything about it. And learning that and just releasing those just energies and letting those things go, it was so beneficial. Like, it was liberating, honestly, just to be able to truly woosah and go, I don't have to deal with this anymore. This does not have to affect me in a way where I'm not going to move forward in my life. Although it happened, I acknowledge it, I'm going to grow from it, but it doesn't define me, and it doesn't keep me from doing what I need to do and anything and everything. So just releasing things that you can't change is very important. And honestly, letting go of excuses. Don't make excuses for yourself or others. Okay? What happens it happened. What happened. Like, it is what it is. You can't really change it. You can't do anything about it. So don't make excuses for it. Don't justify things in your head. Whatever happens, it is based off of whatever you made happen. Like, let's be honest, we get the ball rolling in our lives. No one really does that for us. We may put the ball in motion, or someone may put it in motion, but it doesn't continue to roll unless we continue to push it. And by the ball, that could be anything. That could just be your life. Like, it really doesn't matter. That could be anything. But don't make excuses, especially for negative situations in your life. And I'm speaking, personally, these are things that I had to let go of. Letting go of any excuse. Like, for the longest time, I made excuses for the little things in my life, good or bad, but there was no need to do that. So let's talk about the effects of holding on to things. And I kind of already did, but I guess we can go more into it. So I'm gonna give you guys like a little scenario. Please don't get confused by this, because I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know how to do this scenario thing, but this is my little crack at it. So imagine you have a car or a house, whatever you prefer, and you're going to the store, and inside the store, there's all types of good goodies, and there's all types of, like stores, there's good things and bad things. You got your healthy stuff, and then you got your not so healthy stuff. So let's imagine that's the store, right? And you go in the store and you pick out all these things, you put it in your cart, and you're like, okay, I want this and this, and you pick out some good healthy things, right? But then you also pick out a whole bunch of things that are going to do nothing good for you in the long run. So then you come out the store, you got all this stuff, you put it in your car, and you go back to your house, or even you just leave it in your car. I don't know what you got. You could have got, something that goes in your car. I don't know. Anyways, you leave all this stuff in your car, and then one day you look in the back seat and you look like there's so much stuff in there. Now, these things represent different situations, different traumas, different people, toxic relationships, anything that you can think of, good or bad. These things represent all types of different situations and just things in your life. And you don't really clean house, or I don't know, maybe you do clean house. I'm the type of person, I definitely clean house, clean car. Like, it just feels good when you are in a clean environment, or just in a clean just situation going on. But I know there's a lot of people, and sometimes I get that way when I'm not in the best headspace, where I have so much stuff cluttered inside of my home or my car, and then I gotta one day go in and clean it out. But let's just say you have accumulated all this stuff in your car or in your house, and now it's super messy. There's so much stuff in there, and you're looking back and you're like, how did I get all this stuff? How did it get this way? How did my car get this messy? How did my room or my house get this messy? And then you got to do what? Clean house. You got to go in and take things out. So everything that you take out of your car represents something. Letting go of a bad relationship from the past, you take that out the car. And letting go of anxiety, you take that out the car. And the whole point is you're releasing these things. You're letting go of anything that you deem negative. You could keep the good stuff, of course, you don't need to just be letting go of everything. There's certain stuff that you should hold on to, like your confidence and your power. There's things that are positive that you can hold on to, but there's other things that are not necessary to keep around, especially like traumas and anxiety and depression and anything that you deem negative, because it's not going to do anything for you in the long run. It's going to keep you so stunned and keep you from getting to a place that you want to be in the future. So there was a lot of things that I had to let go of last year, and they were super necessary. Like it was a liberating experience, and honestly, I wouldn't change it. But, thank God for quarantine, because it was very helpful. It was necessary for me. I'm sure it was necessary for a lot of people. It was a great time of reflection, but also action. And by that, I mean being able to combat everything negative in my life that I didn't want to be there, letting go of things that were holding me back or keeping me in a place where I couldn't move forward in life, or just like limited thinking, letting go of limited thoughts, thinking like there's so much, letting go of fear, letting go of depression, letting go of anxiety, letting go of toxic relationships with people and individuals around me, letting go of situations from the past that kind of just plagued my life, letting go of anything negative. It was such a beautiful time last year. And I talked about this in my 2020 reflection. That's a great podcast. You guys should go check that one out. It's one of my favorites. But I talked about it in there. I grew a lot in the past year, and it was necessary. But that growth didn't come until I released so much bad energy and baggage. Like there was so much that I had to let go of in order to make room for new life. Like that's just what it was. It was like I was holding on to so much death, and that came in so many different forms. And letting go of that helped me to invite new energies into my life, positive ones. And I just can't stretch. It was just so beneficial and just a beautiful overall experience, because now it has opened my mind up in different ways. Like I feel less limited in my thinking. I can do more than I could do before. Like it's crazy. There was a point in my life where I was so scared, like I couldn't go into a store by myself. I was scared of humans in general. I was scared of what people thought about me. I was scared of how they perceived me. I was scared of how they thought, like just all of these stupid things that literally do not matter. Because at the end of the day, nobody knows you. You're the only person that truly knows yourself. People may know parts of you, what you show them. They may know what they get from you when they're around you. They may know what they hear of you. But they don't know you. They don't know your heart. They don't know your soul. The only person that knows that is God, and he's not really a person. You know what I'm saying? God's the only one that knows who you are all the way around, full, in and out. He knows parts about you that you don't even know yourself. And I'm speaking to him, like, seriously. He knows parts of me that I didn't know. And my whole college experience was him revealing the parts of myself that I didn't like, or things that I would deem bad. It was like he literally revealed my shadow to me and then gave me a chance to fix it, or I don't even want to say fix it, but clean it. That's a better way to put it. And just get my life somewhat back together, because like it was like, I don't know, I had so much luggage and just bad energy, when I say bad energy, I mean, I'm talking about the things from my past, the situations that I didn't release or deal with, like breakups and just people. It was like that stuff was all still in the back of my mind. I never released it. I just kind of took flight from these situations, didn't deal with it. But quarantine, beautiful time. I was able to accept things, move on from things, let go of things, really break free of those things. And again, it's like everything that you let go is a chain that you're taking off of you, and eventually you get so free that you fly. That's the beauty of it. But of course, make no mistake, things come back around. Life is ever going. So you're going to go through situations where you're going to pick up new energies, and sometimes those could be bad things, or, new experiences that leave you with bad feelings or whatever the case may be. But it's so beneficial to release those things. Now, when it comes to releasing emotions, that's where I was struggling with, because I'm a Cancer, so I feel things pretty deeply. And and when I say emotional, I mean, like, I feel good things as well. Don't just take emotional being you feel bad, you feel sad. No, I mean, I feel positive things as well. I'm just a person that feels very deeply. That could be love, that could be happiness, that could be sadness, that could be anger. I just feel very deeply. So when it came to releasing emotions, that's what I was really struggling with. There were certain situations I would think about and I would get this intense feeling from it, and it would just it would leave me unsettled, and I felt anxiety, or if it was something really deep, like the things I was talking about earlier, then I felt this sense of depression where I felt like I couldn't do anything. I would things that made me feel submissive, where I had to just take it and not do anything about it. And I that's a terrible feeling to have. So learning when those emotions would come around to release them and let them go as they came was super beneficial. And I did that during quarantine because it was, I didn't have nothing else to do, honestly, but deal with myself. So learning how to accept my emotions, acceptance is very important here. Accepting them, acknowledging them, and then letting them go. Just releasing it. That way, when the thoughts come around or things come around, you don't have the same approach to it. It's different. You have, for me, or personally speaking, I have a neutral feeling towards it. It's not bad or good. It's just whatever. I can accept it, move on from it, and then let it go. And that's what I've been doing. And this has continued all the way up into this year. And moving forward is going to continue for me because I just feel like it's so necessary to release things consistently, not just for a season. No, it's something that you got to continuously do because things are ever going. Things are going to happen, and you're going to get new energies all the time. I don't know how to explain it, but it's great to release things, especially things that are negatively impacting you and keeping you in a place where you don't want to be. And I'm all about becoming the best version of yourself, however that may be, or whoever that is for you. Then you can't do that when you're holding on to everything from the past. And that's what this all boils down to, is your present is very important. What you do in your present defines your future. But if you are stuck in the past, how can you even get to the future? How can you make your future? There's no way you can do it when you're trapped in the past by things from the past. You have to release those things and let those things go. And I'm not, making excuses. That's not what I'm trying to do here with anything I'm saying, but I'm just saying it's very important to release things. And I'm probably talking in circles here. I've just been over here ranting, but the whole point is letting go is super important. And I highly encourage anybody out there that is holding on to just anything, it could be anything. You could be holding on to a little grudge with a family member over something really pointless. I can't say it's pointless. I don't know. It could be something really deep. But it's like, you guys ever seen that episode of Catfish? And this girl, she catfished this guy, and and he asked her why she did it. And she told him, it's because you called me a fat Kelly Price. It's why'd you hold on to that for so long? There are certain things in our lives that we don't have to deal with or let fester. We could break it down. There's some stuff that honestly doesn't grant your energy. And the more you put your energy into stuff, the more you give power to that situation or that circumstance or whatever the case may be, that person. And so when you let them go, you then take that power back. Sometimes you gotta love yourself enough to know when to let certain things go, because it's gonna help you in the long run. All I can say is letting things go is super beneficial for your mood, your health, everything. It's important. It's very important, because again, when you hold on to things, it could grow up in you. It's like a plant, but think of it as a ugly plant. Bad energy is this ugly, the ugliest thing you could think of growing out of the ground, right? This ugly plant, and it just grows up and it gets bigger and it gets bigger, and it might be a tree, and it bears very bad fruit, rotten fruits. And as it gets bigger and bigger, those energies, those emotions that come along with those situations and that negative energy, it just gets bigger and more overwhelming, and eventually it overtakes you until that tree dies. And I'm not trying to say you're gonna die with it, but it's a possibility. God forbid though. Seriously, God forbid. My whole point is letting go of certain things. It can really help you health-wise, mentally, physically, spiritually. Letting go of certain things is beneficial to you in many different ways. So take it from me. When you let things go, you're able to be better. You're able to even do better and feel better 100%. You will feel so much better. Every situation that you hold on to, everything that is negatively impacting your life, every time you let it go and you release that energy and you detach from it, but not in a way that you're ignoring it, in a way that you are truly letting it be. Sometimes, what's that saying? What an enemy, let bygones be bygones. Sometimes that's really what it is. You just gotta let a situation go to the point where it doesn't affect you anymore. When you can get neutral with a situation and bring it down to a different level where it doesn't affect you how it would normally affect you, you're doing something completely right. Because when you let something get to you, it has power over you. So the best thing you can do is release that, let it go, and not allow it to affect you or your mood, your health, anything. Because it's not worth it at the end. It literally will not be worth it. And I could stress myself out saying this. In the past, I've been the one to really hold on to things. I share my story with you guys all the time on this podcast. I've been through, several different traumatic experiences, and that just holding on to those energies alone, it ripped me apart for a season. Like, it really did, and God had to put me back together. Like, I was holding on to I got attacked by pit bulls. They ripped me apart. I had over 40 bites. I looked terrible. I was holding on to those energies from that situation. A lot of depression, anxiety came from that. Social anxiety then came from that. I was holding on to just all these different things. I got bullied at one point, so I was very angry at one point. I was molested at one point, so I was very just to myself in this weird, just antisocial energy where I didn't want to be around people because they scared me. I didn't know who was capable of doing anything to me. And when I say scared, I just meant I didn't know who was going to, I'm gonna be honest, put me in a submissive position. I didn't like that. And so I was very antisocial. And people would sometimes overpower me, or I don't know. I don't want to go into details about that. But whole point is, there was a lot of energies that I was holding on to that were really affecting me. And now, in the current state that I'm in my current conscious level, I see how they really did affect me growing up, and how if I would have just gotten the proper help during this time, I would have been able to release those energies. If I knew how to help myself back then, I would have. Now I know how to help myself, Now I know what to do, and, it's never too late as long as it's getting done. So now I can go back in and kind of get all these, or not get, but I can reassess all of these energies from my past that have carried or come this long with me, like in a suitcase. I've just been carrying them around, and I can begin to take those, energies in those bad situations and everything that was, keeping me stunned. I can begin to take them out of my suitcase. And eventually my plan or my goal is to completely drop the suitcase of misfortune or whatever you want to call it and let it go completely. When I let that go, then I'll be free. And same goes for you. You'll be able to truly be free in a sense that you'll have peace. The stuff from the past will no longer affect you, but it also helps you in the future, because in that stuff you will be able to handle completely different. And now, again, at the current level of consciousness that I am at, I'm able to reassess certain things and go in and let them go now. Had I been able to do that earlier on, things would be a lot different now. But I'm doing it now for my future, for my family, friends, those are my loved ones. I love very deeply. I love everyone around me. And I want to be able to freely express that love without feeling some type of way. Because sometimes I'm only human. And when you don't see your love being, reciprocated or whatever, then you don't want to give it out. So I'm human, and sometimes I get that way. But I want to move past that, and I want to let go of the things in my past. That way I'm able to just love freely and not care at all about it. And by not care, I mean just be the best version of myself. And for me, I know that is the version of me that has so much love within me that it's overpouring and it's filled me, and I can just spread that all over the world. Because let's be honest, you never know what's going to happen. Life is crazy. And I've been speaking about this pretty frequently as of recently. I've shared that I've lost several people in my life in the past year. And it was very hard because death, the situation, just dealing with death is a very hard thing to deal with, Sorry. I kind of get a little emotional. It's hard to deal with. But you got to release that energy too, because if you don't, it'll it will control you, it will keep you, and we don't want that. We want to release anything bad and let go of all situations that harm us or bring just anything bad, seriously. And I know I'm kind of talking in circles here, but can't stretch it enough. Whole point is, when we hold on to things and let things just bubble up within us, eventually it's going to explode, it's going to come out. There's no way to keep that energy suppressed within yourself for too long. Eventually it's going to have to be released and come out. So you could release it in a way that is calming or easy, or you could release it in the aggressive manner where it explodes and it's like a volcano and everyone's like, oh my gosh, no. Or you can release it where it comes out peacefully, or whatever the case may be. Honestly, I'm tired. I'm recording this pretty late, but I had to get this little pod out because it was something I've been thinking about for a while, or not a while, but a couple days. And when it's fresh on my mind, it's probably when I should record versus waiting, because the longer you wait, sometimes things just never see the light of day. So that was my little life lesson from the past 30 days or whatnot. Learning to let certain things go. And this could go for anything, honestly. It doesn't have to be like energy-wise. I mean, that's how I put it, but it could be anything. You could be letting go of situations. You could be letting go of relationships, letting go of jobs, letting go anything that doesn't positively affect you or help you elevate in life. Just letting go anything that is negative in your life, everything that is holding you back in a sense, everything that makes you feel uncomfortable, like something, if it doesn't make you feel good, it shouldn't be around. And I'm not saying that, to make somebody go, oh, I hate my job because it don't make me feel good. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at all. But if you're in a repeated cycle of something that doesn't make you feel good, it's probably time for you to start investing your energy in something that does, something that benefits you, something that will help elevate you in life. Trust me, there are plenty of people out there that love the job that they're in, that love doing, something that benefits them but also makes them money. You know what I mean? Like there's plenty of people out there. So I'm not saying that specifically on the job thing, but like just in general, it's time for us, myself included, to really let go of things that don't matter, because as time progresses, things are going to speed up, life is going to speed up. So it's better for us to get with the times and let certain things go instead of being stuck in certain situations, because I know so many people who are stuck in the past, and by that they're stuck in the mind frame of something that happened back in 2002, or they're stuck in something that happened back in 1982. Like I'm not trying to throw shade or nothing, but like seriously, some people can really get stuck in a time zone based on unreleased emotions. And that could go for divorce, that could go for breakups, that could go for death. And I'm just being real with you guys. You can get really stuck in a time zone or a time period without, being able to, properly release some energies, because some energies, they linger around and they'll keep you suppressed, and they'll keep you trapped, and they'll keep you locked down where you can't move how you need to move on your physical and spiritual journey. And that's what this is about. We're here to grow, we're here to learn, we're here to love, and it's hard to do those things when you have all these negative emotions kind of keeping you back and holding you back. And when you hold on to certain things, it keeps you from doing that. It's hard to love someone when you're angry at them. Does that make sense? Like, it's hard. If you're holding on to anger, how can you hold on to love? If you're holding on to hate, how can you hold on to love? Like, it's kind of, I hate to say it, but it's like one or the other sometimes, and it's better to release one or the other, because at least you set free in some ways. So I always say, let go of the negative stuff. Keep positive, let go of the negative. The more love you get, the less hate you'll have in you. The more hate you get, the less love you'll have in you. And by that, I mean, you hold on to love, you're going to love. You hold on to hate, you're going to hate. It is what it is. It's just up to you and how you handle all that. All I can do is give you my 2 cents about, how I handle it. And my big thing right now is to release negative energy. If it's not benefiting me, gotta let it go, And that's what I've been having to do, because I'm human. I feel stuff deeply, and it's very hard. It's super hard to kind of turn the other cheek, and so to speak. But biblically speaking, that's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to hold grudges or go after, get revenge, or seek any of that. You're supposed to let things go and let God handle it and deal with it. And he will avenge his people, his children. So that's what I'd say about that. But the whole thing is, let go of anything that is not serving you, positively serving you, because it will make you feel so much better. And everything that you release, it will be replaced with something better. So if you release hate, you release malice, and just all these bad emotions, God will replace it with love and peace and light and all these good positive things that will elevate you and help you along the way. And that's what it's about. It's about moving forward and not being stuck anymore. It's about letting go of the past so we can move forward in the future or in the present, Hey, I've put many podcasts out there talking about how the past is the past and the future is the only thing that technically matters. Actually, it's the present that matters, because it's what you do in the present that will determine your future. So if you release bad energy in the present, then it can't exist in the future. You know what I'm saying? If you keep harboring stuff in you, it's going to show up in the future, however you deal with that. So it's better to deal with stuff in the present than to allow it to creep on you in the future. And that's why I say it's better to release it than to ignore it and let it sit in the back of your car or in the back of your mind, collecting dust. But eventually, you're going to find it, and it's going to be like, hey, I'm still here. This is me, anger, in the back of your mind. I still exist. You thought, you forgot about me. I'm here. And that's really how it'd be, because I'll be real honest with you guys. There's a couple different sins, and you can take that however you want, that I kind of neglected. And by neglected, I mean I just kind of ignored them. I dealt with a lot of stuff in last year in 2019 and 2020. I dealt with a lot of stuff, like letting things go and overcoming a lot of different things. But there was some things I was just kind of like, you know what, I'm not ready to deal with that, so I'm just kind of ignore it. And then that junk, creeped up on me this year. It socked me in my face so hard that I couldn't do nothing but, face it, literally. And now I'm learning to release it. And it's not, super easy, honestly. It's something that takes time. It's sometimes a releasing process. It could take weeks. It could take months. It's however long you allow it to take, though. Some people are able to release a situation within 5 minutes, I had those moments where if it's not that deep, I can release it very quickly. Then other things take time, in one of my very early podcasts, I expressed that I was sexually assaulted, molested as a child. And that was something that I had to carry on with me for years. Didn't know how to properly deal with it. And releasing that energy, it took a long time. It wasn't something that just went away within a matter of seconds or minutes. It's something that took a long time. It's an energy that you have to keep releasing, because that trauma kind of creeps up on you sometimes in the most random moments, and you just gotta breathe in and release it as it comes, and that's all you can do, is release it when it comes. Revert your thinking, change your thinking in that moment, think about something better, but also acknowledge it, thank God for it, give it back to him so he can deal with it, transmute it, get in your mind and fix things up. But it's all up to you at the end of the day and how you want to let things go. And there's no timer on it, obviously. It's your pace, or whatever is more comfortable for you. For me, I'm one of those people that I do prefer things to be released faster or, sooner than later, because I don't like feeling weird emotions. I want to feel one energy or multiple positive energies over negative ones. Because when you're feeling mad, sad, depressed and angry, all these different emotions at one time, that don't feel good. I mean, for some people maybe, but people I know, that don't feel good. They want to feel better. They want to feel good. They want to be happy. They want to have peace. They want to have love. They want to be able to love. So releasing stuff is the route to go in doing so. We'll probably talk about this again, though, because I feel like the topic of releasing energy and just releasing negative situations in life in general is very important. So I'll probably do like a more in-depth breakdown on how to do that. I love me doing my little how-to podcast where I go in and give you guys little different ideas, or not ideas, but like, I don't need to say instructions, but however, how I handle stuff, how I release energies. I give you like 10 or 9 examples on how to do it, but I'll do that later. For right now, this is what y'all get. No, I'm just playing. But God bless you. I wish you peace, love, light, prosperity, and every positive emotion possible. I hope you're able to release any negative emotion that you have, any negative emotion, any just bad energy that you may be holding on to, or not even holding on to, something that may be creeping around that you don't want to be there, but you're having a hard time releasing. By God's grace and mercy, you're able to release it, and hope you're able to find a way that you can release it without it, overwhelming you. Because I know sometimes energy can be very overwhelming, and it's hard to release it if it's too much to be released at one time. You might explode. Shoot, I don't know. But God bless you. I hope you're able to release it and do it in the time that is divine. Divine timing is everything. But definitely, it's an everyday thing sometimes. For me, I always try to grow spiritually, physically, and mentally every single day. And it's hard to do, but it's well worth it, because you feel a lot better. And that's one of the parts of life is, developing, elevating, getting better. But yep, I hope you guys are able to let go. I love you. God loves you, and God bless.